Hello, everyone. This is cybersecurity expert Reginald Andre, and we are here day 5 of Cybersecurity Awareness Month. I apologize yesterday for you on those folks watching from Facebook yesterday. As you know, Facebook had a very big outage, and I even made a video about that. So I skipped yesterday for Cybersecurity Awareness Month. But for those of you that are watching for the first time, October is Cyber Security Awareness Month, and it's actually been 18 years now. 18 years that Cybersecurity Awareness Month has been going on, and it was created by the federal government, their wing that handles cybersecurity, CISA, and a sense of kind of just to educate consumers, educate businesses on what they can do to keep data safe. If you think about it, that's about 2003. A lot of people in 2003, they were just starting to get to know how to use computers. And even then, the government knew that cybersecurity was going to be a big deal, and they wanted to make sure that they had a whole month that was dedicated to keeping awareness towards those things. So this today we are going to be talking about how to secure your accounts with strong password tips. So every day we're going to be going live, giving tips on cybersecurity, and today we are talking about how to secure your accounts with strong passwords. So let's get right to it. First thing that you're going to want to do is that you do not want to use any personal information. For example, my first name is Reginald, or some of you guys may know me by Andre, and you never want to use, for example, your first name and the date of the year. So, for example, Andre 1980. You never want to use that as a password because this is exactly what hackers are trying. They're trying exactly that, and especially when a lot of your information is actually public. Don't use things like your numbers of your home address, your phone number, your birthday. All of these things are public, and it's very easy for hackers to guess this information. The next thing you're going to want to do is do not use real words for your passwords. I'm going to be talking about it a few times, but there's something called a password cracker. And a password cracker is essentially a way, a tool that hackers use to try to have the computer guess your password. And they use what is called dictionary attacks. That's essentially taking like a Webster's dictionary and they're now trying every word in the dictionary, every how you can sometimes have words, then numbers, and they're trying all of these different variations to try to guess your password. And that's why it's so important that you don't just use common passwords or real words. For example, my monitor is a ViewSonic monitor. I have a nice 34-inch curved ViewSonic monitor. I've seen a lot of times where people will just use the password ViewSonic. Well, that's bad because you can actually on some dictionaries find the word ViewSonic, and it's going to define that as a manufacturer that does electronics. And that dictionary, that word would be in the dictionary, and therefore hackers would be able to get in. So one thing that you could do is that instead of it being ViewSonic, you could replace the E with a 3 and the S with a $sign, and then maybe add a few numbers or a few more characters after that. And that way your information, your password is strong and it's not just ViewSonic. So again, ViewSonic, you could make it a capital V instead of the E, the letter 3, or maybe a different character, and then the S, a $sign, and then maybe you can put an exclamation point at the end just to kind of keep it different. So definitely do not use real words. The third thing that we want to recommend is that you want to create long passwords. How many times have you had to create passwords and then one website says, oh, it has to be a minimum of 6 characters, a minimum of 8 characters? What typically you never see the maximum of characters, right? Nobody ever puts too much characters. So my recommendation is that your passwords have at least 12 characters. And again, going back to that dictionary attack, if they're trying to do an attack and they're just using the common words in the dictionary, the more letters, uppercase, lowercase, symbols that you put, the longer it is going to be for the hacker to try to get into your system. And at some point, they're going to say, you know what, this guy's, what we're trying to break into their account is just way too hard. Let's go ahead and move on to something else. The next thing that I want to recommend is that you want to modify and have easy to remember passwords. So, perfect example. Remember that song, 100 bottles of beer on the wall, 100 bottles of beer? Well, let's just say you wanted something like that to be your password because you love that song. It's your favorite song. Well, let's take a password or a phrase rather that you like, 100 bottles of beer on the wall, and let's make that into your password. For example, the 100, you could make that a 100, and then the bottles can be a capital B, and then the next word of can be an O, the letter B in beer can be a lowercase b, and so forth. And the on can be a 0, the T. So do you see what I'm saying? Basically, this is a song that I love, and now I'm taking the first character of each word and I'm combining that into a password. Now, don't use that one because that's a very common one. But if you have a favorite Michael Jackson song or whatever it is that you listen to and it's a phrase that you like, make that into the password. And in that way, it's something that you can remember and will lead to my next one, which is not to write down your passwords. Writing down your password is bad. Why? Because especially if you're in a public place or a workplace, you don't want anybody to just be able to lift up your keyboard and see your password or tape your password on your monitor. Don't write down your passwords anywhere. There's something called dumpster dive, and a dumpster dive is when a bad guy is going through the trash specifically looking for sensitive information. And a lot of times they can tell if something is a password. And the last thing you want is someone going through the dumpster, finding a sticky note that has maybe a website that says chase.com, and then there you are writing your password. Don't write down your password. Next item is change your passwords on a regular basis. So I was thinking about this because, a lot has changed since this. I would say a lot has changed when it comes to changing the passwords on a regular basis. There's a few schools of thoughts on this, and that I was hesitant when I was writing this. I was very hesitant because there's a school of thought that says that you should be changing your passwords every 180 days, every 90 days, every year. And there's another school of thought that says, wait, don't change your password so often, because what are most people starting to do? They're going to, for example, let's just say they were born in let's just say October. If they were born in October of 1983, and now it's time for them to change the password 3 months later, you know what they're going to probably do? They're going to probably just change the month into a new month. And it's been proven where when a password starts, for example, in October, and now 30 days later, 60 days later, 90 days later, the password has to change. And now instead of October, it's January. What the hackers are going to do is they're going to try doing October, realizing that, wait, this password says October, we're in January. Let me go ahead and just try January 2021 or whatever the numbers are in. They basically are going to realize what you're doing is just every time it's time to change your password, you're just changing the season with it. So in my opinion, you should just keep the same password and have strong other methods, which we're going to be talking about as we go along. But changing your passwords on a regular basis, you're actually going to start to see that go away. You may have some legacy systems that still have that, but a lot of places like Microsoft, for example, they're saying, look, choose a very strong password, everything that we mentioned above, and just keep that. Don't change it every 60 days. Don't change it every year. Just keep that, and let's just keep that password secure. The next item I have on my list is that you want to use a different password on different accounts. So, for example, you have Chase, you have your Walgreens, you have Amazon, you have Office Depot, you have Bank of America, you have your financials. Well, you don't want to use the same password on all of those accounts, because if one of those websites, by no fault of your own, got hacked and the hackers have that password, now the thing that they're instantly going to start to do is they're going to go to your Office 365 account. They're going to go to all of your other different accounts that you have and try to use the same username and the same password that you have right now. So it's very, very important that you use different passwords on different accounts. And the last thing that you want to do is that you do not want to type your passwords on devices or networks you do not control. And what do I mean by this? I mean going to a friend's computer and logging into your bank, or on a public system. Maybe you're at a library or using a business center, and now you're trying to do something and you have to log in. Why? You don't know that computer. Someone could have some type of tool on that computer that's copying everything that you're writing down. That's called a keystroke logger, where everything that you're typing, as you're typing it in, it's sending it to the bad guy. Another thing is sometimes these browsers actually save the password. And if the last person check mark that any password that's put in, it gets saved, well, the next person after you, all they have to just do is go to your browsing history or go to the browser password tab and be able to collect all of that password information. So this is, like I said, kind of the beginning of the entire month. It's only October 5th. You can go back to my other days to see these live videos of that I did regarding Cybersecurity Month. But this is just kind of a good, I would say, 8 or 9 topics that I wanted to talk about as it relates to securing your account with strong password tips. And as I mentioned, every day we're going to be going live, giving information on how to keep your computers, how to keep your network, how to keep your data safe, and make sure that hackers do not get into your system. All right, well, take care. And please don't forget, all this information that we're giving out is for free. So if you haven't already, please like, please comment, and please subscribe. Thank you.